Second fight, he gets the stoppage in the 7th round. Tell everyone why this fight will be different.
I mean, this fight is going to be different because you have a different Deontay Wilder. You know, all the way around. Mindset, body-wise, you know, the power was always going to be there, you know, no matter what. You know, that what brought, you know, rightfully, and I think it's safe to say, I rejuvenated the heavyweight division. I brought it back to life, you know, with me becoming a champion and knocking guys out like I've done it. You know, it definitely revived the heavyweight division. And
those are the words of Brian Custner and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Brian Custner, shout out to him for his Last Stand podcast, asked a question to Deontay Wilder as his guest. What does he plan to do different that he didn't do in the first two fights? And as you heard Deontay Wilder say, hey, it's a totally different Deontay Wilder. You know, physicality-wise, different mindset. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And, of course, rejuvenating the heavyweight division. Now, those things that we've seen from Malik Scott, getting him in training, his mindset is different. We've heard Malik Scott mention that, hey, whatever happened to you by taking that defeat, I will take it 10 times over to get you, or to get this version of Deontay Wilder that I wanted. So that tells me one important factor, okay? Deontay Wilder wasn't doing maybe half of the things that he was doing now. Okay, like his physical conditioning. Okay, we know that he took breaks for whatever reason. We was told from several sources that he did pretty much what he wanted to. He got away with a lot. Now he's not doing that. Okay, he's not doing that. He's not allowing himself to cut corners. He's crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and getting everything as it should. Now, the question you ask yourself, since he's doing all these new things, what part of that factored in him losing the last fight versus the accusations that he had against his opponent, Tyson Fury? See, it's one thing to accuse someone of something that they've done, but it's another thing to not realize or explain what you didn't do. Okay? Admit, rather, you didn't do. Because that's all I see him saying. Well, hey, you know, you got a different Deontay Wilder mindset. Okay, that means your desire to do more in preparation, and physicality, meaning, well, what you did in preparation, now you will be stronger than you were. Because we've seen how Wilder was. He was weaker, and the first thing he said or mentioned was a costume, or him and his team mentioned a costume, because they couldn't figure out what was going on with Deontay Wilder. He was weak. He didn't look like himself. So it's best safe to say that maybe Deontay Wilder wasn't in condition like he should have been, based on a habit-forming method, okay, of the things that he did over and over again. This repetition of not doing what you're supposed to, relying only on your right hand to get you out of trouble. I think he did too much of that and not enough preparation overall. I think now overall that now he has the prep time. He's putting in the hard work and the dedication to do something that he knew he should have been doing from the first and second fight. Okay, and you look at, like, I think he was 205 or it was a 209, and he went from 209 to 231. You add 22 pounds. You add 22 pounds on top of someone. So basically, he turned into a bodybuilder. He turned into somebody that wasn't physically who he really supposed to be, not naturally bringing the weight to himself. He gained a lot of weight, put on some extra pounds. That's the equivalent of Anthony Joshua shit. You know, you're naturally a lean, taller guy, but then you started adding muscle mass on, where it makes everything work that much harder. Just like it's the same difference as someone being overweight. Probably worse so, because muscle weighs more than fat. Since muscle weighs more than fat, you have to work more, and your body and your heart has to pump more blood and oxygen to your body because now you're a bigger person. If you're obese and you're not in shape by no stretch of the imagination, and you walk a flight of stairs, you're going to naturally be tired because naturally you're overweight, and the weight that you have, you cannot support. The same difference is with weight. So when he put on 22 pounds from 209, then you came in at 231, you put on those 22 pounds, and then all of that was against you because now you didn't have the strength and conditioning. You just were bigger, you were bulkier, you were more muscular, but that doesn't mean that you were ready to fight or conditioned to fight. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay. And I think that may have been all it was, me personally, until Wilder comes out with evidence that he's told tons of people, right, with different platforms, that I have this, we have this as evidence, so we can take this man to court. So not only we're going to knock him out in the ring, then we're going to take him to court and get the rest of the respect and the rest of the justice that we deserve. Because if you cheated me, we still got to prosecute, but I still wanted to beat your head in first. So that's fair to say what he is trying to do. Now, let me get to the rejuvenize the heavyweight division. That is not true. Was he a factor in the heavyweight division? Yeah, he was. But did he rejuvenate it? No, he did not. At no part did he take place in doing anything significant in the heavyweight division. When Deontay Wilder started professional fighting, it was in 2008. So from 2008 to now, who did he fight that freed up or rejuvenized the heavyweight division? Think about it. Think about what I'm saying. He fought Tyson Fury in 2018. Tyson Fury was out of the ring for about 2.5 years, close to say 3. And who ran the heavyweight division before at that time? Up until that time. The Klitschko's, both of them, Vitaly and Vladimir, shared a piece of the heavyweight division, and both of those guys were together undisputed. Where was Deontay Wilder at? Knocking out people we never heard of. So at what point did he partake in that? You could say Tyson Fury did it. He was the alpha because he beat Vladimir Klitschko. He cleared up the division. Okay, he cleared up the colon of the boxing community and the boxing division by beating Vladimir Klitschko. Yeah, he outboxed him. Yeah, well, was it the best type of performance? No, but he was definitely the underdog, and no one saw that coming. We just thought a guy that's running around in a damn bat suit and was antagonizing Vladimir Klitschko, we thought that he was another guy that was soon to get knocked out like all those other guys did. All the other 9 years of people claiming that they can do that and didn't. But he did. Okay, he did it by decision. But then he fell off. Okay, 2+ years later, he fought Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua retired Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, so at what point can you say Deontay Wilder, where was he? Yeah, he was a commentator in that fight, but he wasn't the guy that was in the ring. What did he do? Okay, he was still on training, practice patrol, knocking out guys that, again, we never heard of. So I don't see how he can partake. Now, was he a factor? Yeah, because he was still an undefeated fighter with punching power. You can ask Tyson Fury and all those other people we never heard of, right? A couple guys that we have, let's be fair. But when did he rejuvenate the heavyweight division? So I think he gives himself too much credit, but it goes back to one of the reasons why I had problems with Wilder, because Wilder would never acknowledge that, hey, I'm just a fighter in this division that should have done more, but maybe my management wouldn't allow me to do more. I think that's what it was from jump. So for him saying I rejuvenated the division, well, hopefully you can knock out Tyson Fury. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel that you can knock out Tyson Fury and then declare yourself the rejuvenated fighter that you know that you weren't the last couple times you fought Tyson Fury. And then start knocking out people we have heard of. Now you can try that. That may be and make what he said make sense and be actually truthful. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Deontay Wilder explaining the reasons and the ways that this fight, the trilogy fight between himself and the current WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, will be different. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.